If you think oil painting has to be toxic, you're doing it wrong. Oh my gosh, that sounds so bossy, but it's true. A lot of artists think that they have to sacrifice their health for their art, but actually it doesn't have to be that way. These days, anyone still using toxic art materials in their oil painting is essentially doing it by choice, which is great news for us because that means there's a lot of options out there, and I want you to know what your options are. In this video, we tackle solvents, and stay to the end because we'll solve your solvent problem. Unfortunately, that pun was intended. In the next few videos, we'll look at mediums and then we'll look at pigments. I'm Tracey Frugoli and this is Art, Breath, Paint, Air with Tracey Frugoli. That's me. I'm a new channel, so it would really help us out if you would like and subscribe, if you would comment maybe some non-toxic art materials that you're using, maybe any questions that you have, or ideas for future videos, because I'm hoping to help a lot of artists out there to get those toxins out of their studio, but still help them to reach their artistic goals. By the way, I made a detailed blog post about these topics, and the link is in the description. A little disclaimer, I'm an artist with experience, and I know how to do some research, but I'm not a toxicologist and I'm not a doctor, so you have to do your own research. You have to decide for yourself what's right for you and what's right for your family. Okay, back to the video. I've been painting in oils for 27 years, but that doesn't count the 2 semesters of painting that I took back in the 80s, where I was painting in my dorm room with, you guessed it, mineral spirits. Can you imagine sleeping in that room? Not good. And even back then, we were hearing stories about painters who were having issues, painters who had been doing it for decades and then were having issues with breathing. They were having issues with neurological problems, and they were having, like death. I think that they were using turpentine back then. And so, of course, back then, the answer was mineral spirits. Mineral spirits was less toxic, but it's still pretty gosh darn toxic. So if I check my list from my research, mineral spirits used by artists can cause acute symptoms like headache, dizziness, nausea, along with skin irritations or dermatitis. Chronic exposure may lead to serious long-term effects, including impaired brain function, memory loss, and liver and kidney damage. I don't need any of that. Hardly anybody ever uses that stuff anymore. You don't have to, because Gamblin came out with odorless mineral spirit. And that was really a game changer for a lot of people. And I'm not putting any shade on Gamblin, but I am going to tell you a better solution. Let me tell you about what Gamblin says about its odorless mineral spirits. Aromatic solvents are the most harmful type of mineral spirits. Gamsol is an odorless mineral spirit which has all of the aromatic solvents refined out of it. Less than 0.005% remains. In addition, Gamsol has a slow evaporation rate, a high flash point, which means it doesn't catch fire till temperatures are much higher, and is not absorbed through healthy skin. I'm just saying, like, I don't necessarily have healthy skin, so what if you have a cut or something like that? These are all net positives. I'm not saying anything that it's not. However, there's still the presence of distillates. Even though it's evaporating slower, it's still coming out. So I don't even want to be exposed to those, because what I found was that I was getting headaches with Gamsol. But let's not skip ahead, because I want to tell you some other solutions that I came up with, because here's the deal. So I was oil painting in the 80s a little bit, but then it took me a long time to decide, hey, you know what? I think I want to do this again. And so when I was trying to do it again, I was much wiser, much older. And so I looked for other options. The first thing I actually did was use and this was back, I want to say, let's say 1999, okay? So in that area. So they were coming out with these water mixable oils. And the first ones were from Winsor Newton and from Grumbacher that I was exposed to. There were other ones as well. But okay, let's just be honest. Even though I painted with those for the first 3 years of being an oil painter, they are not great paints. They're very stiff and yucky to paint with. I did not enjoy it. And I didn't know enough to know I was missing out because it had been so many years since I had oil painted in college. So, but I kept seeing all these other people, I was taking workshops and stuff like that so I could learn how to paint. And I was seeing them like having these buttery kind of, like they just had this beautiful buttery paint. And I didn't have that. Hi, future Tracey here. I just wanted to interject this video to give acknowledgement to the fact that there is actually a nicer line of water mixable oil paint, and it's from Royal Talons and it's called Cobra. They are a little bit nicer to work with. They're more buttery for sure. And I bought them because I thought I might want to take them to Italy. However, I didn't really like working with them. They are slippery. The colors, the pigments are not what I'm used to, what I like to work with. And then they dry really shiny. So there was something I just didn't really care for. And as it turns out, I didn't have to use these to go to Italy because I was able to take my solvent solution that I'm going to tell you about at the end of the video that you're going to stick with me for, right? And so what happened was when I had a P.O. box back then, and all of a sudden what showed up in my P.O. box was these paints, like a full set of paints from M. Graham as a paint manufacturer. And he makes his stuff with walnut oil, and he promises solvent-free painting. And what you were doing was cleaning your brushes with oil, like his walnut oil. And that was new back then, even though I don't think it was new traditionally. I think that lots of painters throughout history had used that to clean their brushes because oil will kind of loosen oil. So I did that for many, many years, and I just didn't feel like it was working for me because I'll tell you why. It takes a long time to clean that brush because the oil is heavier and it just takes a long time to get the stuff out of the actual brush. And I was doing a lot of plein air painting and I need to go fast. The light is changing, or maybe you're in a quick draw and you only have 2 hours or whatever. You want to be able to clean that brush while you're painting quickly. Also, there's oil left on the brush, so more oil gets into your paint film. And then the other thing was that the containers themselves that I would put it in, and I tried different ones, like just regular jars, or like, an odorless mineral spirits can. And no matter what I did, it always ended up where it would like dry shut. It was a little bit easier to get it open if it was one of those cans because you could kind of pop the top off. But sometimes like you couldn't without my husband's help. Let's just say that. And so I found that kind of untenable, and I ended up switching to Gamsol. I sort of caved, and I read all that wonderful stuff Gamsol says about their stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this. And for the most part, it was pretty good because I was outside and I didn't notice it very much. But I will say it's on your paintings. Like you're painting it, it's on your paintings, it's on your paint rags that you're, wiping it with, and you're putting that all into your car on a plein air painting trip. That's not great. It's not great because it takes a while for that stuff to kind of off gas, and it's off gassing into your closed car. The other thing that I was noticing was that I was starting to use them in the studio because I was doing a lot more oil painting in the studio, and I was getting headaches. And it took me a while to kind of figure out, why am I having headaches? Because I typically don't have headaches. And I realized, you know what? I think it's the Gamsol. And so I stopped using the Gamsol because I found this other product that really solved my problem. Okay, here it is. The single most effective change I think you can make to get toxins out of your studio, out of the air, off your paintings, is to switch to EcoSol. It is made by Natural Earth Paint, which, by the way, I think this company is awesome. It is not a greenwashing company. They are setting the bar for sustainability in art materials. They just are. If you look at their website, like everything they do, you can tell they think about it. So EcoSol, let me tell you what they say about it. And I've been using it for like 3 years. and loving it. So I'm a true believer. It's made with processed soybean oil, 100% plant-based and natural. It's non-toxic. Nice. Tested by professional toxicologists. Does not emit harmful vapors, does not irritate the skin, does not pollute the soil or the waterways. You gotta love that. You know that, like, that something goes on in my little head when I hear that. Safe and legal for air travel. Guess who took it to Italy? I just put it in a plastic container. I didn't use this metal one because I was really afraid it would leak. I wanted something that could really tighten down, and then I put a little bit of plastic wrap, saran wrap, like in between the cap and the top, just to kind of seal it even more. I had no problems at all. What I also did was print out the materials data sheet from the company where it says, and I highlighted the flashpoint because that's what the airlines want to know. We got off track from our list. All right, safe and legal for air travel, that's where we were. Conforms to U.S. safety standards D4236, whatever that means. Archival, professional artist quality, non-yellowing, subtle, fruity, licorice scent. That's really important. It does not really smell bad at all. It smells kind of nice. And it doesn't smell very much. Like, you have to kind of put your nose in there. So it's not like those old, remember Terpenoid Natural? They probably still make it. It's very citrus based. So back when I was teaching, I think in the 05s kind of era, students would bring it in and like the whole room would sort of like that smell, that citrus smell. And I don't think it really worked very well. It might have, in terms of during the painting part, it might have cleaned the brushes okay, but yeah, it's not that. I want to say it is not that. Excellent for creating washes, underpaintings, drip effects, etc. Now, those I have not done. Let me go over here. A lot of this sort of underpainting stuff, all this kind of drips and stuff like that, a lot of that is their plant-based acrylic from this particular company, Natural Earth Paint. So I do a lot of that kind of dripping ahead of time. But I do want to test that out. I want to test out, you know, how good is it at toning your canvas? How good is it, you know, with the drips and stuff? I will tell you that it will take dried oil paint up off your painting. So let's say I wanted to reveal like less, I wanted less of the skin kind of his chest, and I wanted to reveal more of the underpainting. I could do that, but I have to be careful because it also take off the acrylic paint as well. It is super strong, extremely effective at cleaning brushes and cleaning your palette. And I think I have a video of that too. It is amazing. It is amazing. And I'll just leave it at that. And they use recycled packaging. So this aluminum that they use is actually recycled, and it is recyclable. Oh, the little dopamine goes off in my head when I hear that. All right, so it's a game changer for me. I got to tell you, I can have this can open. This can is open and I don't care. My cat's sitting right there. In the end, I feel like I found a near perfect answer to the health, ethical, and performance concerns that I have when I'm oil painting. Please comment below if you'd like to see me do a deep dive into EcoSolve. Let's face it, I'm probably going to want to do it anyway, but hey, it's going to be motivation for me if you tell me that you want it, because I've been using it for 3 years and loving it and putting it through its paces, and I want to share with you, you know, as much as I possibly can. It's not exactly like Gamsol, so there are some differences. So even though EcoSolve will ship internationally, maybe you can't get it. I think you should get it, but maybe you can't get it. There is another product from a French company called Sennelier, and they call it green for oil. They have some mediums as well. We'll talk about in another video. So I haven't really tested this out very much, and I'll tell you why. Look how small this bottle is. It's like 4 ounces. It actually wouldn't even fill up my large brush washer, enough for me to actually use it. So I would have to buy more than 1 bottle. I have a feeling it works very similar to EcoSolve, but I actually can't tell you that's true. But it is an option if this is all you could get. So what did we cover? Traditional solvents are made of petroleum distillates. And even odorless mineral spirits like Gamsol can have negative health effects. The alternatives we looked at were water mixable oils, washing your brush in oil, and my personal favorite, EcoSolve. EcoSolve. You could also do the Sennelier green for oil instead. I hope this 15-minute look at solvents has really solved your solvent problem, because it doesn't have to be toxic anymore. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, because it will help other artists to have a non-toxic studio. And it's your vote for getting the toxins out of art making. Thanks, and see you next time. Hey, thanks for coming along on this journey to solve your solvent problem. This here's 40. Ford Lincoln Mercury is his formal name. Just like he's purring. He doesn't look happy, but he is purring. He's very happy to be on my lap. Come on, look at the people. Oh no, he says, no, I don't want to. Coming along in our journey to get those solvents, to get your solvent problem solved.